All right. Hey, hey. Welcome back, guys. All right, so this is going to be a single storyline. It's going to be for each zodiac. As soon as I'm done being live, then I'll go ahead and timestamp. But we're going to go in order of fire signs, earth signs, air signs, water signs, and ending with Ophiuchus. Okay, I try to mix it up every time. All right, let's go ahead and begin with Aries, shall we? All right, let's see. Aries, what's our message for our single Aries? We have got Temperance in the reverse, Ten of Cups sideways. So for our Aries, the message here is someone's not feeling very balanced right now. They could be dealing with a Sag, but because this is a single storyline, this may not have anything to do with like romance, even if they were dealing with a particular individual that is, this could be like a family member, this could be a scenario where it's like, okay, we're out of balance right now, but it doesn't mean that things aren't still going to be wonderful. It's just there's a wobble going on right now. There's a difficulty. I mean, any character can have a bad day at work, and have conflict with a boss or coworker. Anybody can have that moment where it's like, oh, I love my neighborhood, but as it turns out, I'm kind of feuding with my next door neighbor for a little bit. This just kind of looks like got a Nine of Swords. I've got the Five of Pentacles. It's starting to look like someone is more bothered by this than Aries is. Aries is like, oh yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. Whereas this person's losing sleep over it. So somebody really would probably like to make things up with Aries if this person is no longer speaking to the Aries, or the Aries is no longer speaking to them at the moment. Man, are they feeling that absence? They're missing that. They're feeling out in the cold. They're feeling there've already been multiple times when they wish they could have picked up the phone and just talked to Aries. So if both people are kind of under this sense of awareness that, yeah, this is a problem, is this going to get worked out? Because to me, it looked like on the Aries side, they were like, oh, it's not the end of the world. It's not that bad. This says it's not getting worked out just yet. We've got the star card in the reverse, Aquarius energy. This kind of looks like either maybe these two are too close right now to get it worked out. High Priestess. It kind of looks like everybody needs a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time apart, a little bit of, it's either they're too close or they're too far apart. But there's this underlying energy where maybe a break is necessary right now. One person definitely doesn't like it because they don't want this break to last. Aries seems to be more of the opinion that this too shall pass, is not a permanent thing. The Ten of Cups is still there. It's just sideways at the moment. But there's an understanding between both characters that right now this probably can't be healed. Let me just ask, why is it that this conflict is just kind of like, maybe it needs a little bit of time to air out? Oh, Ace of Pentacles. So then if a little bit of time passes, then when they do reconnect, it'll kind of be like water under the bridge and they can start fresh. This could be like, that feels much more like, how siblings can get into it sometimes and just be like, oh my God, I hate it when I'm fighting with my sister, my bro. But on the other hand, Aries seems to be the more confident one, where it's like, this is not the end of the world. It'll get worked out, but let's wait until the next time, we have family dinner, or even the next time we are all together for a holiday, and then we're just going to greet each other like nothing happened. It feels like there's going to be, you know what? Sometimes you got to air stuff out, right? Air out the BO, air out the fart, whatever it is, and just get it to be nice and fresh and clean. So it looks like it's not going to be the end of the world after all. It'll get worked out, but a little bit of downtime, even missing each other a little bit, is maybe a good thing in this story. All right, next up, coming in with Sag, beginning at 4:03. All right, and I will timestamp these at the end. Saggies, what's our story for Sag? Hold on, I've got a couple of cards that are sitting over here, and they're actually in the wrong deck, and they're staring at me over here. Sorry, Sag, but that was a mess all of a sudden. I think I dropped one somewhere too. Okay, Sag, let's reset that. I apologize. Sag is coming in at 4:29. All right, Saggies, here we go. Sag, we had a little false start there because I knocked over a deck and then saw that two were merged that shouldn't have been. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind. But for our single Sag, we've got the energy of being very much in the present, which is beautiful. It feels like this Sag is, maybe they're having time to sit down and actually read a book, and out of that book comes a marvelous new sense of inspiration. The fact that we've got the present moment and we've got a succulent, succulents contain a lot of water in their leaves already. They're good desert plants. They don't need a lot of water because they retain so much. I'm going to say this is all about retaining knowledge and information, but this Sag is having a really great, like right now would be a great time for them. If they need to learn something, if they've ever wanted to focus on something, learn something new, this is a time where maybe they'll be able to retain a lot of information because it's just like the time is right. There's less distractions. They're very centered. They're very much in the present moment. So this could be a good time for a character to utilize their free time to pursue some kind of interest or hobby about something that they've always wanted to, like read some complicated recipe and learn how to make, whatever the best croissants or something, whatever it is, something mechanical, something electronic, something that could require quite a bit of like attention. This could be a great time for this Sag to go ahead and read up on it, learn that skill. It's like they'll retain the knowledge really well. And it could be very beneficial. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the Inspiration of Wands. We have the Justice card. It's interesting because this could be something that is going to assist our character in like gaining knowledge, could help them, I'll say defend themselves, but I don't mean like, I know we see the legal system here, but if someone says something that's a little bit challenging, like say this is Sag is going to spend 15 minutes before they go to bed reading up on a piece of information, and then on Monday they go into work and they're in an office meeting or something, and somebody kind of like calls on them or tries to, kind of like show them up a little, because this is a bit of a challenge, but it's the kind of challenge, it's not mean-spirited per se. You notice it's like the wolf pack are kind of like challenging one another, teasing each other, but they're still running in a pack. So I feel like it's someone who might want to get the upper hand, and it could be that Sag, thanks to that 15 minutes of extra study time, reading up on something, they're going to be able to establish themselves as the leader of the pack. And it could be like, yeah, it's about time I got some respect around here. This feels like it sets a new tone. Being knowledgeable, seeking information, being able to hold one's own, especially in a group setting or in a work setting or something like that, that could be a really beautiful message for this Sag to go ahead and be a little bit more up to snuff on some information so that they have a chance to really shine, possibly in a meeting. Maybe Sag winds up because of that one moment, because that 15 minutes of extra homework they did, they shine, the boss notices it, and then they wind up getting the accolades. Maybe they get promoted. It sets a new tone for a new journey. Like Sag is the person who's a go-to person. And it may only be a little tiny bit of effort because it's only a page's amount of effort. But it's funny how just a little bit of extra can make a really big difference in the course of our characters, maybe their life or their money or gaining their accolades or really being seen by the entire pack as somebody that really has a lot more knowledge and a lot more to offer. It shows Sag is going the extra mile there. They're doing something a little bit above and beyond, and they're going to be recognized for it. That's really nice, actually. All right, Leos, you guys are up next, coming in at 8:47. All right, here we go. Leos. Hi, guys. Great to see you tonight. Leos, you know what? I want to go with this deck instead. So I just reached for a deck that was buried behind another one. So I don't know if we're reaching in to get in deeper or what, but for our single Leos, we just got a Queen of Swords. We got a Wheel of Fortune. We've got a King of Swords. Okay, so we have a perfectly matched pair. Wow. We have the Sun, and this Sun card literally has twins on it. We have a 7 of Cups, and we have the 2 of Swords. Okay, so hold on. The fact that I reached for a deck that was buried behind, I'm wondering if Leo is actually digging into the recesses of their memory and bringing forth an old memory here, something that they actually don't really want to remember, or something they're like, hey, I wonder what happened to those friends. I wonder what happened to that couple who had their twins. I wonder what happened. It feels like, why is Leo wondering about a duo possibly a duo that had children or that seemed to be really, really happy. Wow, Four of Wands in the reverse. This is an odd message. Leo's like suddenly wondering, or someone's wondering about Leo. Are they still married? I wonder. I want to reach out, but I don't really want to do it and have them see me do it. Is Leo looking somebody up, or is somebody looking up Leo, trying to figure out if they're single, trying to figure out what happened? Page of Cups, Ace of Cups. Okay, so we've got, I wish I knew who was who here. We've got this like secretive energy where somebody is wondering, and I'll even say hoping, that an individual perhaps didn't have success in their long-term connection or commitment because they want to offer their gigantic cup of love to whomever. I don't know if it's the Queen of Swords or the King of Swords, if you know which part of that relationship somebody wants to offer their cup to. Hold on, who's the Leo in this? Because I can't see it yet. King of Wands, the Fool, the Chariot in the reverse. I'm going to say for this storyline, this Leo, well, obviously it's a single story, so our Leo is single. But what's interesting is that they seem to be the person who's off on their own path. Are they the ones about ready to make a leap of faith and reach out to someone because they haven't been able to move on from it? That's what that's looking like, unless it's somebody where Leo has walked away from an old connection and is single and hasn't met somebody else yet. And an individual is, tell me, who is it with the Ace of Cups? Who is it that has the Ace of Cups? Somebody who's super nervous. We have Justice. We have Death card. We have the High Priestess. Okay, so the one who's got all the love, Three of Swords and Six of Wands. This is somebody who did Leo wrong at some point. So the Leo is the one who's actually off on their own, having their best life. This character who hopes Leo is single. I don't know why they assumed Leo must be off in another connection, or maybe at one point in time they were, and now it's fallen apart. Because with that Justice card, that could be a divorce. They're the ones who are all stressed out and nervous about it. So did somebody choose an individual instead of Leo? And at this point, and at the time, they're like, oh, this is so perfect. We're going to be so happy. We're just peas in a pod. It's going to be great. And then their relationship was not so happy. And in fact, that marriage didn't last. And everything that, was so fabulous. I mean, the Four of Wands in the reverse is like total collapse. And if they're thinking about the Leo now, nervously checking up on the Leo, wondering where the Leo is, Leo's out living their best life. Leo's coming across as a divine masculine, kind of taking leaps and bounds, traveling the world, doing the things that they do best, loving their life, not moving in a particular direction, though. This Leo is in an adventurous state of their life right now, not necessarily planning on just one direction. But that individual who wants to give their big offer of love could be the King or the Queen of Swords, right? Because we've got them here as a Libra, and that could have been a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They are extremely stressed out because they know that they I'm going to say they chose wrong. They realize that. They realize it like never before. They have a lot of love for this Leo now, and they have a lot of, in this case, desire to, I want to say, figure out what has happened to the Leo in the time that they've been away. I feel like they know that if they hurt the Leo in the past, they would really like to transform that. They're wondering if the Leo still has heartbreak. No, it's them who's got the heartbreak now. The Leo's doing great. You don't strut your stuff like this unless you're feeling pretty damn awesome. So it's interesting how this character has swapped roles. So they're peering into the Leo's life, wondering if Leo's single. That's what we've got on this one. Someone who didn't choose the Leo in the past is peering into the Leo's life because they are hoping that the Leo is single at this point, and they're pretty darn stressed out because they're in an awful lot of hurt and pain. Look, I don't know if they're even going to be able to find the Leo, because Leo's out there strutting their stuff with that Fool card, taking leaps of faith, doing different things, living a pretty boisterous life is what it looks like. But it does look like that's somebody from the past. Sorry, Leo singles, that's just what we got there. All right, moving on, we're going to go to Virgo next. We got a 1450. All right, we're into the Earth signs next. It's going to be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Right now, it is Virgo. Virgo singles. We got a Queen of Wands. Okay. So there is the energy of someone feeling pretty proud, pretty beautiful. Follow it up with the Empress. If this is our Virgo, they're all about themselves right now. They're coming across as a very divine feminine. But we have Magician and we got the Eight of Pentacles sideways. Okay. So this Virgo has some really big thing that they need to obviously give birth to. Could be a single person choosing that at some point I'm going to have a baby. Whether I'm single or not, I'm going to do this. They're manifesting it, but they haven't really put the effort in yet. It still is in the thought process. But I'm going to say it differently. I'm going to say this Virgo has something to give to the world, something to develop, something to put out into the world. And yet they haven't done it yet. They're calling in space, or they're calling in their energy, but they're not really making it happen yet. Why? Because this Virgo is about to like give birth. They're so ready to do this amazing thing, but they kind of keep preparing to get ready. They need to maybe just make it happen. Strength card. This is don't be afraid. Two of Pentacles in the reverse. This Virgo needs to just do it. Whatever this is, whatever this amazing thing is, it's going to be something positive. It's going to be something beautiful. It's going to be something that is a unique gift that they possess, and it's beautiful. Whatever they're going to create is going to be absolutely stellar. It's going to be something that people are drawn to, people want. But this is very cerebral Virgo who has to think and think and think about how to do it just right, how to do it just perfect. They know that what they do matters, but they don't want to put effort into something if they haven't like really envisioned how it's all supposed to play out. So this is a Virgo who says, no, I need to see the entire image of what I'm going to create, how it's going to progress, and then what is the ultimate culmination. I can't move forward unless I can see it all. And the universe is like, okay, but get busy. Get busy on it now. Have the strength to just put it out there. It's how it's going to go now, so go for it. That's what the universe says to this fictional character. They're doing a little bit too much overthinking and procrastinating, and not enough making it happen. And they got to get on with it. Because what they've already got in their mind is beautiful. It's time to bring it into fruition. It's time to give birth to this amazing idea. That was a really cool one. All right, next up, Taurus coming in at 1731. All right, Taurus. Let's go. No, wrong deck. Taurus, I'm sorry. I want this deck instead. I want the black instead of the more colorful. I don't know why. And the one with the serpents on it. So maybe it's a cycle thing. We got Two of Swords for our single Taurus. We've got the Six of Swords. We've got an Ace of Discs. Oof, we got the Devil. And we got the Nine of Swords. Okay, so this could very much be about cycles. Two of Swords is some blocked energy, but it's more like I feel as if whether or not our Taurus recognizes it, there is some very sweet, very benevolent energy that has always been around them that is saying, wait, Taurus, I know I'm going to block a door for you. You notice how the angel's wings are blocking our vision over here, and the angel is acting like, I ushered the children along safely so they don't have to see things that are going to be unpleasant. I feel like for our single Taurus, their benevolent guardians are blocking a pathway for Taurus so that Taurus can move along in a different direction. They're being rerouted. So it is like maybe a cycle shouldn't repeat again. And it's kind of like the universe or the angels are stepping in and saying, no, we're not going to let you repeat that. We're going to block a door for you, and we're going to usher you this direction instead, because you got to have a new beginning. And this new beginning, ironically, could be a new beginning that first requires Taurus to face down the devil. If this Taurus had ever been trying to not face a particular situation head on. They were trying to be very graceful. They were trying not to point out to someone, hey, listen, you're kind of the devil with your attitude here. This is super toxic. We're not doing this anymore. This is almost like the benevolent energy is saying, no, let's not sweep it under the rug. Let's just go ahead and look at it for what it is and say, this I'm not going to do anymore. Let's fly free of this. It's interesting how on one hand, Taurus is getting a new beginning, which we think is going to be all light and fluffy, and it will be, but it also, in order to do that, in order to end a cycle and then go toward a new beginning that'll feel a lot better, this is like a Taurus has to see something as exactly what it is and say, call it out almost like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore because that way is not, I don't like that. And that's actually how the universe is helping our Taurus to have a new beginning by putting a stop to something that was really not okay. Yeah, Hanged Man in the reverse. Something went on for far too long, some repetitious cycle, and the universe is like, Taurus does not deserve any more of this crap. They deserve to see it for what it is. This could be someone, could be a Capricorn, could be a Pisces. It's probably going to stress this individual out if it's a person. It might just be a scenario though where toxic, it's been toxic, and Taurus hasn't really let themselves acknowledge, like, I really hate that. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. But that is the new beginning. Them being able to, instead of just having to grit their teeth and go through it again and again and again, the universe is like, no, we're going to redirect you. You're going to have a new beginning. And it's going to begin with being able to say, wow, yeah, I don't like that thing I kept having to do and do and do. I didn't like it. I'm all done. And I think Taurus is breaking the chain. They're flying away. If they were patiently waiting for somebody to change their behavior and quit behaving this way, I think Taurus is finally saying, or maybe someone else is saying to this person, hey, you've been super toxic. Taurus isn't dealing with you anymore, or nobody's dealing with you anymore. You got to go. You know, this could be, sometimes it's like not a person, but more like a mentality. You know, it's like people get in the habit of like, maybe let's use this so it doesn't become a person. Let's say Taurus works in a whatever, like an automotive shop or some place where you can have the radio on, and the radio is always tuned to something where it's like, you know, a really inflammatory kind of talk radio station. And it's like, it was creating arguments and fighting amongst the people that work there. And it was just super like bringing everybody down. And then finally, it's like, you know what? Actually, we're not going to have talk radio on at all anymore. And that's the change. You know, let's break that cycle and let's identify that, yeah, you know what? It was really kind of bringing down the vibe. Yeah, let's not do that anymore. I don't want that in the workspace either. Let's just listen to music, or, you know, let's listen to something better. It just feels like it's a change for the better, but it requires breaking a cycle. I didn't want to talk about it like it was a person. It might have been an environment that's shifting, and sometimes little teeny tiny changes in an environment or tiny changes in entertainment style or something like that can make a really nice change, and it lifts the energy and it makes it a lot better. So it looks like this is going to be able to be fixed pretty swiftly, actually. All right, next up, Capricorn coming in at 2306. Single Capricorns. Let's go with one of my oldest decks. Right, Capricorns. We have got a 2 of Wands. We've got a 3 of Cups. We get the 5 of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Swords. Okay, so to me, this is looking like for our single Capricorns, it's to go or not to go. Do I really go hang out with this group or that? I feel like Capricorn, this single Capricorn, has different options and they're trying to decide. It could be like, do I go hang out with the guys or the gals? Do I go, you know, our time sometimes in life is limited and we're going to have to pick. Do I make a commitment and hold a commitment to go out and go to drinks on Friday night? Or do I choose to surrender my Friday nights and join, you know, whatever, my colleagues in doing some kind of, I don't know, some kind of sports activity, maybe lacrosse. It kind of looks like they've got lacrosse I don't want to call them tools, equipment in their hands. The thing is, if our Capricorn is at a turning point, they're like, well, one activity is going to push me to become maybe more agile. I'm going to learn more. The other one's going to be more pleasurable, but this one, the Five of Wands is actually more transformative. The Three of Cups is more like indulgent and fun and joyful and emotionally fulfilling, but the Five of Wands actually pushes a character to improve. That's why I was using like a sports scenario as an example, because it's not maybe as chill as sitting back drinking wine and gossiping or chit-chatting about life, but it could be one that actually does a little bit more. Also, a 5 trumps a 3, and it is a card of change. So I kind of feel like our Capricorn is having to choose, how do I best spend my time? One thing could be a little tougher on me, but might actually help me transform more than something else that feels more enjoyable. So which do I choose? Only they can decide, but it's their choice is going to make a difference, because it's going to sever, one road that they can't take. Like I say, if it's the difference between what are they going to do on Friday nights, they can't be in two places at once, so they're going to have to pick. And once they pick, I think they've got to listen to what do they really want to invest in, and not look at it as just like one Friday night, but what's going to be the net value if I did that every Friday night for 6 weeks and I made that commitment. Will I really like it? Because they've got to pick the one that they really, really like. Now, it may not be that they are in the mood. Maybe this Capricorn's not going to want to go ahead and do something that might test them and push them a little bit. Maybe they do want to just relax a little, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're going to have to pick the thing that's emotionally more satisfying. But bear in mind, one thing could be less satisfying but have more impact for the long term, generate more success for them. So with that in mind, they got to have the clarity of mind about what they're doing and why. But ultimately, this is a choice about what would make them happiest. So whatever this Capricorn chooses, that's the message. They have to choose what would make them happy. But they can't be in two places at once. That's a little bit tough, because we always hope we can do it all, but it's just not possible. So, all right, I'm going to leave that one there, and best of luck to that Capricorn. I hope they find exactly what it is that they want. All right, Libras are up next, coming in at 2713. All right, Libra, let's see what we got. What is the message for our single Libra? Got just 2 for starters. We got the Death card and the Lovers. So we have a Libra who could be, it's a single story, right? But this is a big transformation. It's ending something. Maybe this Libra is about to end their single energy and instead want to bond to somebody. This could be somebody reemerging into the world of romance, making a choice to reach out to somebody who's at a distance. We got a 5 of Pentacles. By the way, Scorpio and Gemini there, but now 5 of Pentacles. I feel like either the Libra wants to reach out to someone, or someone is reaching out to the Libra after making some pretty big changes. This is going to be something from long ago and far away. Once upon a time, they were at this golden temple, and then they hemorrhaged energy and resources, and then went all the way down that river. And I'm going to say it's like the river of tears. That something has changed dramatically in a character's life, and they are ready to actually acknowledge. Hierophant, 2 of Cups. Oh, wow. And the Devil. Okay, this is still a troubled connection, but I will say it was always a troubled connection, but there has been big love here all along. Sorry, I know it's a singles read, but for this Libra, somebody wants to marry this Libra, or vice versa. I just can't help but say someone is still, they feel like they need this other person in their life, partially because they view the Libra as like an enlightened being that will help them get on that right path as well. It's like, but I want to change my ways. I've been super toxic. I know I still have toxic traits, but I think being in this connection could really help me to heal. I feel like the Libra can help me to heal. It's like that's what this person is like clamoring for, or vice versa. It could be the Libra who is now suddenly clamoring for that individual. But that would mean that this Libra has been pretty toxic and they've been aware of it, but they want to make change. I'm a little bit more inclined to say right now that it's someone else who has, I mean, it's like they've gotten sick of their own bad behavior and now they just want to change it and they want to be with the Libra now. It's a major life overhaul, but they're looking at Libra as the person who's going to save them from themselves and their own bad behavior. They really want to be healed, but they think in order to be healed, they want to make this long-term commitment and marry this Libra. I just don't like that we're ending with the Devil. Let me get one more card here. Four of Cups. Oh, so it's really that they regret that they had such a toxic behavior at some point. And maybe this isn't, I mean, I'm sure that probably the Libra is still going to have a memory of how toxic they were. They regret that a lot. I don't know. This person does come across as if they feel quite enlightened at this point, enlightened enough to know who to go toward, to choose to be with someone that lifts them up, to choose to want to connect to someone that lifts them up. But they're not pulling punches about it. They have a lot of regrets about that past toxic behavior. And the only thing is that still going to be something that they battle from time to time? I don't know. That Death card says no, but they certainly are acknowledging what they used to be and the regrets that they have over it. So this feels like somebody who's trying to convince a Libra to love them again. That's, I mean, to put it simply, like they want this connection back. All right, next up, we're going to go to Gemini. Gemini coming in at 3118. All right, singles storyline for Gemini. Let's go with this deck. Geminis. What have we got? Ace of Coins, brand new beginning. That's nice to start that way. Someone could be fairly famous as well, or they are headed that direction, because we got someone on the coin itself. So I can't help but say this is like someone who's famous enough to be put on money or a billboard or something like that. Three of Coins. Yeah, this is like if Gemini has turned this new page where I think they're going to be very sought after as someone to work with, someone to work for. This is like they've built a reputation and they're starting to see, look at that Emperor. They're starting to see real, like the fruit of what they have created, the reputation that they built. This Gemini is definitely moving up in respectability and reputation, particularly in the work world. What's funny is they have probably been a little bit misunderstood from time to time, because Gemini has the ability to put on a game face that can be freaking intimidating as hell. We see that scary mask, but it's like the people that are really admiring, and look at this King of Wands. The people that really admire and like recognize, oh, wait a second, this Gemini has really thought things out. They are the person to run the company. They're the person I want to work for. Oh yeah, they have high expectations of everybody around them, but they care so much about the people that work under them and for them and work with them. I feel like there's been some huge breakthrough where Gemini is not only starting to show some serious success, but it's like people want to work for their business. People want to, like write articles about them. They're super well liked and even loved, or will be shortly. This is a turnaround. I wonder if, look, to be working with someone who's got Emperor energy, people can be intimidated, especially people that don't want someone who is astute enough to notice when they're lying or slacking off, someone who will not tolerate those kinds of things. They have high expectations because they believe in people. They're like, no, you can do better. Also, if you're going to live in my kingdom, work in my kingdom, you have to do better, because there's an expectation and you can meet it. You got every capability to do what everybody else can. They actually instill respect. They want to give respect to people, but they do hold people accountable. That can, at first, or at any point in time, I suppose, people that don't want to be held accountable will not like this Gemini. And this Gemini will be the big scary meanie to some people until they get a closer look and they go, wait a second, this Gemini is actually supporting the people around them by expecting them to be able to be competent and, not, they're very loving, they're very warm. And I think the Gemini had been misunderstood for a while, and they're not misunderstood anymore moving forward, especially in the workplace. I feel like they have a real level of respect coming their way, and even warmth and love. There could be possibly either someone who wants to be like a protege of this Gemini, somebody who has like a lot of love for this Gemini, who views him as like a wise teacher or mentor. This could also be someone who is falling in love with Gemini. It could be somebody younger than the Gemini. Doesn't matter what gender, but right now we do have two masculines. But somebody has a very, very warm feelings toward the Gemini. I like to see that. I like that energy of somebody who recognizes the truth of like how our character was presenting. Like they're a leader. Yes, they're a strong leader who holds people accountable, but not to be mean. I'm glad that this gem is being respected for that. So next up, we're going to go to Aquarius. Aquarius is coming in at 3547. All right, let's see. What have we got for our single Aquarians? We've got a Two of Wands. I can't think right now, but somebody else started out with a Two of Wands as well, one of the other zodiacs, where it was all about decisions. We've got the Sag energy of Temperance sideways. Decisions, and no balanced thought process about what to do next. We got a Ten of Swords, but it also was kind of sideways, tilted anyway, and then completely sideways we have the Eight of Swords. So decisions about, is this over or is it not? What is our single Aquarius trying to decide? Is it over or is it not? Okay, we have Nine of Wands. So there's an element of, is it over or can this be fixed? Is it over? Can I move on from this? Can I forget this? Am I healed enough to let this go? It feels like somebody is still lingering. See, Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse. Six of Wands is upright. Strength is upright. Okay, so it's more that the timing isn't quite right. We have a character, an Aquarius, who's already outgrown the situation that they have found themselves in, but they haven't quite left the situation because it hasn't been divine timing yet. There's actually, our character is, they're still lingering either in a location or a situation or an emotion or a mindset, not because they haven't outgrown it, they have, but it's the final little threads of healing, and they're just about to have that shift. It's like, if we say we were involved in some huge task and we were a really integral part of it, and say it was this huge thing. It's like, oh, I don't know, we had to move all of this, we'll say, concrete and build like a whole cathedral. And Aquarius was like one of the most important foremen of that job. And now the job is complete, and it was, exhausting, and it was all of these things. There's a moment where everybody just pauses and rests, maybe takes a deep breath and says, okay, wow, look at this. Look at what we did. Look at what we built. And usually there's some kind of, accolades or something, especially when it's like a really huge accomplishment. It feels like the moment of recognition of the accomplishment. This could just be that the Aquarius has to recognize how far they've come, have to recognize how much they've done. Until they can look at what they've accomplished and feel heroic and realize, wow, look at how strong I am. That's the only reason they're still lingering. They haven't known what it is that they're lingering for. They didn't realize until now, I think, in this story, that it's them recognizing how much they've accomplished, and then they'll move on. So it's just this last moment. This Aquarius for this storyline is almost wondering, what is it that feels incomplete? I don't get it. Why am I not letting this go yet? And it's only because They haven't recognized how amazing they are and how much they've come through and how much they've already accomplished. As soon as they can do that for themselves, they'll be able to release whatever this is. I'm going to say it was something that was pretty stressful. It was something that really tested them and really pushed them through their limits. All right, next up, Cancerian. You guys are coming in at 39, 36. All right, Cancerian. Let's see what the message is for Cancer. Single Cancerians. Ooh, 10 of Swords, 9 of Wands. So something hurt this Cancerian, but it has almost been completely resolved. They've not only do they still have fight left in them, but they also have hit that point where the good stuff is just about to be really tangible. The bad stuff's already happened and it's done and it's gone and it's over. They don't have to relive that. And the really, really, really good stuff is what's left. The really, really awesome stuff is what they can still grab a hold of. And it's more, look at how many times she's reached out for this rose, but kept getting hacked up. Well, now there's no other branches in the way. It's like, it'd be a lot easier to get to this rose. She's just got to probably clip down one more little branch and then she can easily access it. There's, I'm going to say this is probably about love and romance. This is a single story, but we do have the Two of Cups and we've got the Ace of Wands here. And Ace of Swords. The truth is this character knows this already. Our single Cancerian knows that they have completed some, probably a pretty big personal journey where they've gone through a lot of lessons in life. They perhaps have, maybe this Cancerian is even aware that at one point they cared a lot more about what people thought, and other people's words could really cause them grief and hurt, and that impacted them in romance. Maybe they chose people that they couldn't ever seem to please because all they wanted to do was, please someone and feel like they would be treated well in return. And they kept kind of choosing the wrong person until they finally said, wait a minute, I'm sick of this. I'm not choosing people that I can't please. I'm choosing the winning rose. I'm choosing somebody who chooses me equally. I'm now aware and, alert and confident that I know that I have a ton to offer. And the person who's right for me will be delighted with what I have to offer and vice versa. I think this is someone who's cracked the code of why they've had failed relationships in the past. And they've healed a lot of pieces of themselves. And they've also gotten to the point where they're a little bit, how do I say it? They're unbothered by, if people can't be pleased and people are rude, it's like, that's your problem, not mine. They don't take that on board as their failings or feel like they're supposed to make other people, jolly that don't want to be jolly. Instead, they're like, wait a minute. I'm going to call in the kind of person that actually matches my energy instead of consistently finding myself matched with people that don't have any of the traits that I'm actually looking for. I might have a lot that they're looking for. They want somebody to make them feel good. And I kept finding that again and again and again, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I think this is a major breakthrough for this single Cancerian because they probably have been single long enough to think about what it is that they want different from here on out. And they figured it out loud and clear with a little help from the universe, but it's unlocking, it's almost like it's unlocking the doorway. And right behind that door is a person that will match them beautifully in their best energy. It's really nice to see that our Cancerian has shifted their energy so significantly. That's beautiful. The fact that they're ready for something really good and they're not tolerating something unsatisfying anymore. So very nice. Next up, we have Pisces, and then we'll do Scorpio and then Ophiuchus. And then as soon as I'm done being live, I will go ahead and timestamp these in the description box. So 4347 for my Pisces. All right, Pisces, what is the message for the single Pisceans? We've got Queen of Pentacles. So a lot of success, a lot of abundance, a lot of stability. We have Ace of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Fool. Ooh, this is good. We got a Pisces who's about ready to take some major journey or leap of faith. This is a Pisces who has gathered their abundance. Now, there could be an earth energy that is particularly important to them, someone that they know to be either a true friend or someone they can rely on, someone they can count on. But I think this is like how they know that they have an element that they can count on themselves. It's they're realizing that they're prepared. They have been prepared for a while to take a new leap of faith. If this is someone who's like, you know what, I'm ready to change my world. I'm going to go stay with that friend who's always offered me a place to stay with that family member, and go ahead and uproot myself and live there instead. I'm super excited. I know this is what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Feels like they're at a point where they have all the resources that they need, and they can go ahead and kind of like pursue a life dream that is to change something. Now, this Pisces might want to explore and be a little bit more footloose and fancy free, but they're not going to sacrifice the sense of stability. They got the best of both worlds here. And it could be because there's another individual, or they simply have created their own sense of stability. Could have to do with travel. But they have the ability to travel light without compromising the sense of stability. It keeps feeling to me like this character has been researching, reading up on this, and they have realized I absolutely can make this work. I have the ability to have a level of freedom while not sacrificing my stability. This feels like a Pisces who wanted adventure, wanted to change their life, but has done it in a way that's really thoughtful. And there's a reason for this. We have 10 of Wands and we have 8 of Wands. I feel like this was a really important moment for our Pisces to be able to kind of like transform some things. Sometimes the reason that we have the Fool card, the reason we feel like we're starting fresh in life, is because we need to lay down old burdens. And so it's like, you know what? I'm going to literally lay down my old behavior. Maybe I want to lay down my old identity and start fresh. I want to go someplace new, someplace where I can kind of reinvent myself. And that's what this feels like. With that 8 of Wands especially, this is excitement, this is change, this is travel, this is new communication, and it's without any of the old heavy burdens. Those are going to be laid down, and our character gets to start fresh and clean and new. It feels like a different identity. You know, they're going to be reinventing themselves, and I feel like they have somebody really supporting them in that. I don't know if it's friend, I don't know if it's an earth sign for sure, but it's somebody who really likes this Pisces and they view it as a person that they can count on to be supportive. That's really nice. All right, next up, we've got Scorpio coming in at 4720. All right, Scorpios, this is a singles message. Let's see what we got for our single Scorpios. We have got Knight of Wands and the Death card. So for this Scorpio, they're showing up immediately, second card out. This is a Scorpio who's ready to make some significant changes, but they are, I'm going to say, more passionate than ever. In both of these cards, we see them throwing their arms up and out. There's a sense of devil may care, a sense of freedom, a sense of power. It's a power pose. It's presenting. It's like, and here I am, the new improved me. But what's ironic is this is Scorpio. So it's really just maybe Scorpio got their groove back. This single character, we got the Knight of Cups, we got the High Priestess. I'm going to say this is almost like a Scorpio who's walking in and being like, here's the new me. And they're wearing something sexy and they've been working on their body and they're like, I'm single and I am ready to mingle. Bring on the romance. I'm ready to explore. I feel like this is Scorpio living their life really large. But here's the thing. That was already who they were. They were just getting back to themselves. They were just now ready to live large again. It's like they reclaimed who they originally were. Tell me about that High Priestess. Ace of Cups, Two of Swords. You know, the one thing here is that if this Scorpio had been, I don't want to say in hiding, but they had been reinventing themselves, getting back to their true self. And now they're like presenting themselves to the world again, saying, here I am, single, ready to mingle. I feel like there's someone who has been in love with Scorpio for a while, who has been waiting for the chance to present this to Scorpio. I think Scorpio is just now like acknowledging that, yeah, I did know that all along, but I was not ready to receive any kind of romance. Because this feels like they were right in front of Scorpio and they're like, Scorpio doesn't even see me. They're not really welcoming me in, but I've got this love to offer them. I think this character, this could be the Knight of Cups, who has wanted to offer some kind of love to the Scorpio for a while, but they knew they had to kind of bide their time until Scorpio made the announcement that I'm back. You know, I'm out on the market again. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for dating. I think Scorpio was very much aware of this character though. And I think it's really nice to see them finally saying, oh my God, I can approach the Scorpio. They're open for business again. I feel like this is one of those situations where someone has patiently waited for this single Scorpio to like heal and feel like themselves again. That's nice. That's a patient individual for sure. All right, and last but not least, we've got Ophiuchus coming in at 5028. All right, Ophiuchus, this is a message for the single Ophiuchus. Let's see what we've got. We have the Three of Cups paired with the Devil, with the Fool in the reverse, and the Seven of Swords upright. Well, this looks like we have an Ophiuchus who's not telling the whole truth about what they really feel about something. It could even be that they're sitting down and they're, yeah, you know, I like these friends, or yeah, I know this person cares about me, and they're like, but I think they care about me in the wrong kind of way. I think it feels like somebody's trying to get the upper hand. They're trying to get me to feel like they are really super sweet and super nice. So then I'll feel indebted to them somehow. And really, I'm acting like I don't notice it, but I think I kind of do. I think Ophiuchus is a lot wiser. They're not taking a leap toward this person. They sense something is off. They sense somebody is being very, you know, like kind, but with a desire to then control. This could be like Ophiuchus has recognized sometimes when people say they want to do nice things, there's an ulterior motive. It's like, I'll do this nice thing that you didn't ask me to do, and then you'll owe me one. I think Ophiuchus is not taking the bait, but they also aren't announcing that. And I say that because they sit here in the coffin saying, well, I'm not. The Seven of Swords is lying, but not all lies are the same. They might be just simply not admitting that, look, you can act however you want, be as super sweet as you want, but if I feel like this could be toxic, that you want to get some kind of control over me, I'm simply not going to feel indebted to you. But I'm not going to announce that to you. It feels like Ophiuchus is kind of outsmarting this character, but without saying anything. We got the Queen of Wands. I think Ophiuchus says this person is operating like a siren. They really want to reel me in, but it's not working. I can see what they're doing. They're making themselves extremely attractive. They want to pull me in, like, but it's just not happening because I can see it. And I think that they can recognize that this person has a good side to them too, but there's something here. Yeah, Nine of Swords. There's something here where Ophiuchus keeps saying, I don't want to be indebted to this person though. It stresses me out to think about them, you know, continuously pulling me in. I don't want to get sucked into their games. What's the final message here for Ophiuchus? To me, this is a pretty good one to keep their head on straight. Huh? Eight of Wands. At some point, Ophiuchus will probably have to either say no thank you to this person, or go ahead and have a direct conversation, or this person is going to finally put the moves on Ophiuchus and they're going to have to say, I'm not interested. Eventually, there will be direct communication. But for right now, it's kind of like Ophiuchus is just trying to be graceful and just be like, hi, yeah, that's nice. But they're not stating, but I'm not falling for your honey trap. But they aren't. This Ophiuchus is probably at some point going to have direct conversation, but they're taking their time with this, probably mostly because it's like, well, I don't want to say anything rude or mean. Let's keep it polite. but it feels like this Ophiuchus is too smart to get wrapped into somebody's honey trap. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Lots of love to everybody. I will get these guys timestamped now, and take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.